Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Composing with Chandler. As Today is the 20th of July, and we're meeting with Chandler for a second night because we switched to the two-night format. If you guys would like to join us, you can always come to the Discord and come hang out with us while the sessions are being recorded. And if you if you I'm sorry, there's a weird pause right there because none of you know because you only see my avatar all the time. But I have a bald head of hair because I shave it all the time, so I have very, very short hair, just so you know kind of what I look like. Um, but I just found next to my computer a very long, like brown red hair, like very long, like it looks like a female's hair. Just laying next to the keyboard. I've lived in this house alone for about a year and a half, and I've had no visitors because that's kind of the way my life is. It's all online and not in person, which is a shame. Believe you me, I understand that humans are social creatures that need to socially interact, and it totally sucks. Fortunately, I have a job where I talk to people, but they've never come to my house, so it's very strange to have a long woman's hair in my house. So, anyway, that was enough of a ramble for me, but now you know why, as I'm recording this live, scared. You should come join us in the Discord. We do meet, we have a schedule set up, you can see when you get up there. But it's 7:30 when we meet with Jack and Frank, and 8 o'clock when we meet with Chandler. So that's Central Standard Time, and you're welcome to come in anytime. Um, a lot of people just do, if they want to come in, they can just listen. But also, if you're there, I'll shout you out, and we have a chance to talk then also. So just so you know, that's open and available. We do have the podcasts that come out as frequently as we do shows, which is 5 nights a week. So they do come out fairly frequently. You will see on our YouTube. You can go up there and just, if you just subscribe, you can just watch the YouTubes as they come out. We don't have a way set up. I guess you could subscribe to a playlist, but, if there's certain shows you don't like because of the different components, you don't have to watch those ones. You could just, follow the ones you want. I guess that would make sense to set them up in separate channels. If you want something like that, if that's popular to you, and that would be like a preferred method instead of getting all the notifications, just let me know. Put me in the comments below. And yeah, glad to get some feedback from you. So here we are, composed with Chandler, but no Chandler. We do expect him a little while later. I do have to confess to everyone who's listening, if you guys have noticed a little gap in the shows, where there's not like a full podcast, there's probably like two of them, hopefully not three of them missing. That was my fault. I messed up the recording of the audio on a couple of occasions, and actually on the last composing with Chandler. So you might be missing like one from each podcast. But we do have some video salvaged from the ones that we're working on in Flicking with Frank, which won't come out as a speed lapse because it's just probably too short. I'll probably put it into the next one that we do, where you get to see him working on the pecker and building a 3D pecker for the first time, which is really, really exciting, guys. If you are starting to follow the show or you're coming back, looking at this as a historical sort of like perspective, that's a fun episode that you get to see clips from. And then also we got to start page three. And there's a time lapse release for that. But unfortunately, we had Dylan Farr on, who was a very, very funny comic. Um, the autistic Spitfire, your autistic Spitfire, he was on, and it was the most fun show that in the time that we've done these shows, it's definitely it's taken the cake for like how fun it was because it was just really fun to have Dylan on and the energy with all the guys and everything. We were just like back together and it was super fun. So unfortunately, that audio is just lost. It's just you know, uh, these things happen when you're trying to do things live. It's one of the reasons that I really do enjoy working on like writing things down and filming them or like recording them, making them permanent because life itself is so transient. So it's really fun to just, get a story right or get a moment perfect. Because in reality, we don't have the ability to do that. We have to just give it our best shot. And either we hit or we miss or fall somewhere in between sometimes, because not everything's like so black and white like that, right? Sometimes there's a degree of failure which is acceptable. And so you can hit that and then life moves on. It builds from that moment. um, Whatever the cycle is that we're moving in, that, not only are we rotating it on Earth, but there's the secular patterns in our life too. So not only is that happening, but then it continues to happen just layer upon layer upon layer as the moments just continue on. And I think this is true for me, but I'm pretty sure it's true for a lot of people. Like really that it's just so scary because we can't fix or adjust the past and we don't know how to prepare for the future. So the experience that we have as human beings is just a really terrifying one if you live in that, either the past or the future. And so it seems to be a trick that the more that you can get absorbed into what's happening right now, so you can just apply yourself wholeheartedly to what's happening right now, the better off you are. Because the moment that exists now is the only thing that's actually real, the actual place that you can change anything. Because the past is frozen, and the future is an explosion about to hit you from a direction you just do not expect. I mean, if you've lived for any amount of time, and I'm talking, if you become sentient as a human being, what I'm saying is true because you experience that, right? So it's just like, so making art is a way of containing all the pieces and just like perfecting one thing in the midst of all the chaos. That's what it means to me. What's up, Aaron Cosbial? Welcome to Composing with Chandler. I was just having a deep
Hey,
moment with our audience. You'll have to catch up on at a later date.
all right, cool. What's up?
Not a whole lot. Did you just wake up?
Just a little bit ago, yeah.
Nice, nice. You have a good Sunday?
Yeah, it was a very restful Sunday. I mean, I woke up, I did a lot of housework for my mom first, and then I mostly slept the rest of the time.
That's awesome because your mom, because she's still not moving around really good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, she's moving around better than I thought she would,
That's good.
because she has like a bunch of tenacity, and like her garden needs work, and so she wants to be the one that does it, even if she doesn't move as well
Well, because it's
as she
her,
could.
she's not doing it because she has to. She's doing it because she enjoys it.
She loves it. But I still went and watered it because that's hard for her, and moved a bunch of water, and cleared out sticks from around the yard, and um, yeah, and yeah, it was it was work, and then I got to relax, and uh, mom had made like homemade pizza yesterday, and so I had some of that for lunch.
That's awesome. Homemade pizza. Damn, dude. That's seriously your life, though.
I mean, I'm doing nothing. I just happen to like know people who can make things.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's really the key. And then
Yeah,
they do it because they like to, and you're like, yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, and they make like enough for everyone, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'm just part of like everyone around who gets to partake in the food.
Right, and they're like, I can't make a little bit because that's the thing about food is that you really have to make a larger quantity if you want to make enough. Like where it's, like where you get the ingredients, they only sell them in small
Yeah,
enough containers that like you actually have to make multiple portions, like or you're using half a can of tomato paste, and like you
yeah,
just don't
all
get
the
smaller than that.
like recipes are for families. So
Yeah, and they also sell
and
products in family sizes because that's mostly who's doing cooking.
yeah, because people who are single tend to make the frozen meals for one, which is what I like tend to do on my own. Like just pop some uh, pizza rolls or make a PB and J.
Right, yeah, just whatever is easiest.
Yeah.
Um, for real. And that's seriously, I mean, like I like to cook and I like to make food, but like I don't like to make food for one person. So I'm just like, you know, whatever, just give me
Yeah.
some frozen food then. Or eat out of a can.
I feel like I was a little bit more like um adventurous in making food when I lived in Chicago than now. Uh, because then I was like just trying to not have peanut butter and jelly every day. Once I could afford it.
Right, right.
Um, and then at the Vortex there was Dan had the George Foreman grill, which made things easy.
Nice, right? It's basically an
Yeah.
iron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's so like I would just buy like turkey burger from the Jewel across the street,
right, right.
and it
That
was
was
already
so
made
awesome.
patties,
Right.
and then I would just put it on there, and um, I would consider that healthy.
I mean,
Turkey
it's
burger,
right.
Havarti cheese, and hummus.
Damn, dude. That is pretty good though.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good sandwich.
yeah,
And then you could
healthy,
also get all
easy.
those things too.
Yeah, right across the
You know,
street.
just right across the street.
Yeah, and I was walking everywhere, so like walking places was enjoyable to me. Um, and now there's just like no sidewalks, and so I
Yeah,
just
same down here where we're at. They just you can't walk or bike anywhere. There's like you're like on highways mostly.
yeah, it's all geared towards cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Designed specifically. Uh, yeah, and the only other place that there isn't where the road is a ditch where I'm at. Like seriously, like a ditch that's there to fill up with water because there's so much water.
uh, yeah.
I live in a
So unless
small
you
town.
have like shoes that turn into boats, then can't really walk across the water.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's just yeah, like walkable cities should be a thing. It should be a thing. Like in places to get around that doesn't require a car. It's crazy that the industry was able to get away with that for so long
Yeah.
because it
And it
was
is a thing
well
in
yeah
New York or Chicago, and I
yeah
feel
yeah
like
yeah
those might be the only
absolutely
places.
like some meme was sharing that people love their college experience because it's a community centered living arrangement that's totally walkable and it's set up that way. And it's
Yeah,
just like it's set up like a village. And it's so crazy. Like we're in this like weird abstraction when like people have not lived like this for thousands of years. Like I'm glad that we have modern medicine. I'm glad we have modern transportation. But like it's just so weird that like everything is far away and you're always putting pollutants in the air. Like why aren't things built, around a central hub
yeah,
where like it just serves that neighborhood or whatever?
yeah. And when I first moved here, I was still taking the bus downtown because downtown Toledo has an area of it that's walkable.
That's awesome,
But
right?
once you get out of the downtown area, then it's all suburbia where
Right, and
there's
then
no
so then you
walking.
have the choice. You have to like get on a bus to get there for one, which is first like, oh, geez, now you have to take a task. And then the second thing is you keep going to the same place. It's not like there's multiple options.
Yeah, yeah. There's no well, like in Chicago. I remember being able one time my most epic walk. I got off the top of the Purple Line and I walked back to Chicago.
That's awesome. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I made it as far as Clark and Devon
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I got. I stopped into the diner there, and then I took a bus the rest of the way back to the Vortex. But um,
Clark and
it
Devon.
was it was a day walk, and
Yeah, yeah.
it
No,
was great.
totally. I
It
had
was
some
beautiful.
epic walks across Chicago, just like to all these different points. Because you could. Like there'd be a day it'd be just like it's nice out and I don't have anywhere to go or nothing to do. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna walk as far as I can, right? Because I gotta get back to
Yeah.
the vortex or whatever. And if you just, put one foot in front of the other, you'll see like a whole bunch of the city. Yeah, it was definitely one of my favorite things to do, just to walk around. And
Especially if you do that like as close to the water as you can. It's
oh
just
yeah,
always a great view.
gotcha. Yeah, you have like the river down there. You have the lake, of course. Then there's a river that runs through the city too. It's like far west. Um, I forget exactly where it is. It's named after one of the presidents. I think it has the word park, but I think it's maybe Washington Park.
Okay, that would make sense.
It was a total
Uh,
surprise to me. Like one time I reached it and I was like, the river's up here? And it makes sense because it goes down to like the downtown. But like, yeah, it's much smaller, obviously.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. It felt
Uh,
like a different place over there.
yeah. I definitely remember walk. I was able to walk from my work, which was Macy's, like on State,
Yeah.
and I up to where I used to live on Lincoln Park,
Yeah, that's
and
a good
that was
hike
just
for sure.
a good hike, but beautiful day.
Yeah, I
And
used to bike
yeah,
from
great
Edgewater
architecture.
to downtown. Yeah, and just so you get to see all that. Yeah, how beautiful it is.
Hmm.
For sure. Yeah. Biking around that city was fun too, because you could just get places. You could just if you just kept pedaling. Oh, that's funny. I didn't remember this until just now. I have a bunch of dreams where I'm just like pedaling through the west side of Chicago, and I'm like trying to get places, but like the city keeps changing, so I'm just like biking from place to place. That's fun. I
Yeah.
Those are dreams that I totally didn't realize that I'd had, but as like you reminded me of these memories, like I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a bunch of like dream memories about that. That's cool.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, it is different. The couple times I've been back there, it's just like so many things that were there are just like not. There's
Oh
no
yeah,
diner. There's no pressure. There's
yeah, no, no,
no.
yeah. Everything that city is constantly changing. Oh
There's
yeah, I
a
didn't
really
even check
good
up there.
crepe place. Did you ever go to the crepe place on Foster?
Yeah,
And
no, I was up in that neighborhood. I totally is totally different now.
yeah,
Yeah, like the Starbucks moved in, and I was like, and then now it's like all the things that are, like Starbucks. There's a Taco Bell on that street now too. Um,
yeah,
like it's just like I'm like like it's too bad. It used to, it definitely had a vibe, and it's more to, it's very commercial now.
yeah. Throughout the
Uh,
whole place.
yeah,
There was
obviously IO is gone.
like a Polish area of Chicago.
Okay.
That I There's a specific type of Polish sausage called a kiszka
Uh-huh.
that my family likes.
You
And
got to
it's
eat the
usually just
kishka.
found in packets. Like not packets, like wrapped packages. But there was one place where you could get it fresh. Um,
Aha.
that that place is no longer there.
Of course.
And maybe there's another Polish deli that exists that would have it there, but I don't know where it is anymore.
Right. Yeah. It's just, you have to stay present with the city to know where stuff is. Because
Yeah.
that was happening while we were there too. It was just like, oh yeah, there's a new place over there now. Oh, that place is closed. Um, it was just, yeah, but we knew about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's all the small changes that like hit you all at once where you're like, oh yeah, nah.
Yeah, when you go back and visit, then all the changes are, oh gosh.
Yeah.
When it happens while you're living there, you're like you barely notice because there's so many other places to be.
It's the
Um,
same thing with your face and your relatives, right? Like they behave the same way. Like to you, all your little changes don't add up to much over the course of days. But someone who hasn't seen you in weeks or years is like, oh shit, bro,
yeah.
you've been done changing.
Yeah. Yep. Always
So
are, I
yeah,
guess.
always are. Always on the move. Time marches on. That's actually what I was talking about in the opening, is that how like we cannot escape the rush of time. And so like the creation of art that we can make as perfect as we can, like this one moment perfect, is like why like I personally create art, I guess. It's like one of the motivations is just like to freeze time for a second and just make it perfect. Um, because that's what the ability of, writing and making movies and cartoons does, is you have the ability to make a moment as perfect as you can.
Yeah. Make ripples, hope it turns into a wave.
So there's that, right? Like the desire to want to be commercial and like to make art that sells is definitely
Mm.
like on the table,
I
but
mean, more in the impactfulness
there's
than
also
the
that. Okay,
money.
right, yeah, to have an impact on the world. But like the thing was I was saying particularly is instead, like since life itself is so chaotic, art gives you the chance to freeze a moment, to like just like, and then you can keep like honing the same moment. Like okay, so I think, sorry, Da Vinci's David, right? Where it's a man frozen in a pose, right? Um, and so like that's what all what we do is get to do when we make art is we like the whole world is so like crazy, but you can go to these stories that remain the same. And like creating art is like that. Like you go into this like you have an infinite amount of seconds, as much time as you want to spend on it to make it as perfect as possible. So it's more about like crafting order and chaos than it is about the effect that it has on the audience or how it affects the world at large. Although again, there's those ideas are also tied in there. It's not like it's the only thing that drives it, but um,
Yeah.
like when you draw a picture, like the stick figure remains two dimensional and on the sheet. When you go back to the picture, it's the same thing. Even though, your face is changing, your body is getting big and growing weird hair everywhere. All right, that one didn't
Yeah.
land well. Okay.
Yeah. No,
He's
it landed just like
he did it as a joke.
internally.
It's usually like, am I giving you like you're like, yes, I'm laughing, but I'm also having an existential crisis.
A little bit, you know. Uh,
See, and this is why I don't do stand up, man. Is because like the like I've told jokes on stage and like do the thing where you're musing and telling the story, right? Like putting that down and them being like that's the thing you do. But like audiences don't laugh. Like I give them the shock and horror where like their brain is like being twisted in a way that they're super uncomfortable with, but it's still going there. So I don't know if
which
that's
is
a
great.
it's
Which is
good, but also
so
you have to
something
be
I theorize now is
uh,
that like people want to feel various things.
that's
Uh,
true. Yeah,
because there's some
100%.
people who go to like comedy clubs to feel offended
Yeah,
because they know that they don't like offensive jokes and they know a comedian tells offensive jokes, but they'll go to see the show to feel offended.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. They're yeah. So like people go to comedy for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah, because why
And
else would you like go to Tosh? You shouldn't if you don't like if you don't find that funny. Uh
right, yeah, exactly. Like I would go to a George Carlin show not to laugh. I've never been to see George Carlin. I wish I would have. I didn't know who he was until after he died, unfortunately.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
only
I,
knew yeah.
but I would go see him in stand up because I would like to hear his thoughts. I would rather hear him speak, and also he would be, on the side he's funny. But George Carlin always has like, oh, like he'll throw in like little one-liners and stuff like that as like bits and jokes. But like he's like always talking about like what's going on in society and like what it means to him as a person. Um, and so like I would just listen to him as a speaker. So
Yeah.
I'm
He always
definitely agreeing
feels a
with
little
your
bit
point of
more
view.
like a philosopher.
Yeah,
Uh
exactly. Like George Carlin, the philosopher. That's who I would go. I'd be like, tell me everything that you're thinking right now, man, because the world's scary out here, and I could use I could use some inspiration.
mhm. Yeah,
Because he brings that.
he does.
And
And
so
that's
like
probably why I would see him too, because I don't
but
like.
he also started as a joke teller. Like Carlin is also very funny, right? Like he wised up a bunch at the end of it, towards the end of his life. But like if you listen to like early Carlin, he's still like cracking. But like his bits, the jokes that he makes are very elaborate and super fun. I'm sure you've heard him. I'm not. I'm probably talking.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I've heard his early stuff, and then I heard his later. Honestly, I like his early stuff more.
for sure. I
Um,
mean that's a stand-up show, and he's whiz
yeah.
banging, right? But it's interesting. Sorry. So
Hello?
like I appreciate Carlin for being the philosopher because I met him at that stage, but like he had already gotten the attention from being a funny man. So like my approach, what I considered comedy, because I was fully a stand-up comic, was philosophy. And so like my understanding innately is backwards. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Did I ever
But
tell you
that's the thing.
I
You
used to,
could go
sorry.
into comedy to like make people feel, or I don't know. I guess it's more public speaking to make people feel different things.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Um,
I think that that could be effective if you're like, well, people want to feel good, and then we want to make them feel mad, and then just like so, make sure you push their buttons to the tone of the show, through the pace of the show. That would be an interesting experiment. Like something I'd
which
be
I feel
interested,
is more in the storyteller people.
100%.
That
Yeah,
might.
because like I think there is a group of people who likes to go to comedies and are drawn to certain comedians because of their storytelling. Um,
Mhm.
There was that witch I told you about, whose name I'm forgetting, unfortunately. But she was spectacular. If you guys want to try to look her up, she was on her specials on YouTube. She's a very dark-skinned black woman. She's bald by choice, I think, because you can see her hairline too. Um, and gorgeous. And then also, the show is something about being a witch. Um, because that was like kind of the theme of her show. She like threaded it through, and then for her special too, she added some elements that really like brought that home. Not to spoil anything. It is fantastic. But yeah, no, so I would totally go see her just to hear her tell stories. Or the same thing with Cameron Esposito. Like I would go see Cameron anytime, any place, anywhere, because I just want to hear her talk and tell me about her day. Because Cameron is always just doing
Hmm.
cool shit and she has a cool perspective on it. So she doesn't need shout out from like us as a podcast, but because she's already awesome in her own right. But
Yeah,
we saw her when we were doing that all doing comedy in Chicago together, and she was fantastic. She's always been fantastic. It's from the time we
yeah.
saw her, right?
She was hosting my show like every other week at the spot.
Yeah, and how lucky you
Like that was
guys
when she
were.
first moved to Chicago.
Right.
She was just looking for stage time. I was like, yeah, come and do as much as you like.
And yeah, she would just tell stories then too. That would be the thing. Like you would be laughing because you just enjoy the story that she's telling. But like,
Uh-huh.
and then also she like makes it fun. But like, it's she's really good at just storytelling.
Yeah,
So it is 8:30. Um, and I would expect Chandler's like all psyched about getting here yesterday too. But for this time we should probably take an ad break just to let
yeah.
people know that if you have products you want to sell, and that you need someone to voice for you, we're open to that, and we're definitely down to promote your product, do like a cut of a video of us using, experimenting with it, give our feedback for it, and cash in hand discount kind of situation. However you want to work it, reach out. You can do
Yeah.
it
I
cockspace.com.
mean, yeah, we like all sorts of things.
Yeah, we have varied
Yeah,
interests, and I'm sure the thing that you are interested in selling us, we are interested in because we really do like things. Aaron, just
yeah.
tell me more about how you like things.
I love things
I
like
mean,
I love
right?
things like books.
Okay, yeah,
So,
facts.
so if you do something with books, I
He will
I
do a book
like
review. He will review your book.
mental like mental health. So if you're one of those companies that that deals with that,
Okay, yeah,
we can
lots
plug
lots
your
of apps have
company.
mental health apps. Aaron Cosbial can
Yeah,
use that and then endorse it. and let the people who follow him and us know about it. That's yeah, mental health. Perfect. What other
Yeah.
things?
I also really like cookies. So
Hey,
honestly, if you were a cookie place and you wanted to sponsor us, man, that would be great.
let's be
I've
honest
never
though,
seen
Aaron.
any
You
cookie
you
place
love cookies and all
sponsor it.
types of sweets. Isn't that? I mean, that's true, right? Like if your face was on
Uh,
a sweets brand,
yeah, I like all sorts of sweets.
okay, sweet, sweet,
Uh, ice cream, cake, cookies,
all of those
brownies.
things.
Yeah.
So as the
Uh,
kids say, he is your Huckleberry, and he will
yeah.
taste those things since he's a connoisseur of all those sweets, and he will tell people what it's really like. Because we are about authenticity. So I mean, if it's like
Yeah.
Midland, then we're gonna have to let you know that that's the case. Maybe we can
Yeah.
work out a beginning and afterwards deal. If you want high promotion, but I'd expect Mr. Cosbial to tell us the truth honestly about how good it is. So if you think you
Yeah.
can pass that test, suckers, pass it this
So
way. Let's see if we can work out a deal. What other
when I
things
was
do?
19, I first moved to Chicago, and I didn't know anybody, and it was Halloween, and I dressed up and went trick or treating as a Hostess Twinkie.
A Hostess
Um,
Twinkie. Now, Hostess, I know
yeah,
you're a big
just
company and you don't need someone to advertise for you, especially not a cat with a jaw like chiseled jaw and Aaron Cosbiel, the professor of comedy. But think about this, how sweet it would be to make a deal with these guys who actually love your product already and are already endorsing it. I'm not even gonna
yeah,
edit that out. We're gonna like shout out to Hostess and see what's up.
Hostess. Uh, I
I
was
mean, I love a
trying to
Twinkie.
scare the uppies
The give me a
with
snowball any
"I'm
day.
high in fats." Uh,
So how much candy did you get when you were trick-or-treating as a Twinkie?
uh, I mean, I got a pillowcase full. But it was
Wow.
also the first time I heard, "Aren't you a little bit old to be trick or treating?"
You
And
didn't
so
even
I
have a
didn't.
beard at that time.
Was not bearded at all.
Right, right. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. He had a cute little face. If y'all,
yeah,
I think he even had rosy cheeks to that point. Or
yeah.
is that me? We
I
probably
was
both have
in a
rosy cheeks.
collegey neighborhood. I was in Lincoln Park.
So the
So
college kids are like, motherfucker, you think you can get candy?
yeah.
We can get candy. We're giving out candy. Why are you stealing our candy?
Wait, why are you trying to give up? My favorite part is getting the candy, and then I can eat the candy.
Right,
If
yeah,
you're giving
exactly.
away the candy,
Since you're just
you're not
giving
going to be
away
able to eat
candy.
it.
And then it was kind of a shock and a disappointment, I'm sure, where you're like, holy crap, what has this world come to?
Yeah.
Is the big city life so heartless and cruel? I'm sure that in mommy,
I'm just a kid.
I could definitely get
I'm
some
just a
candy.
I'm just a kid hungry for some candy,
Right.
saying trick or treat.
You were also, yeah, exactly. You were also in Lincoln Park, Lincoln Square,
Lincoln
Lincoln
Park, yeah.
Lincoln Park. Yeah, so
I was right
like
next to DePaul.
yeah, but there's also a
Um,
lot of money down there. So like yeah, a bunch of student housing, I'm sure, and then other, people with them wads of
yeah,
cash.
yeah,
Although I'm
wads of
sure
cash, and they were giving out candy. So,
like full-size
uh,
candy bars, of course.
yeah,
How
good
could you
sized candy bars.
how could you pass that up?
Some regular fun size, but some good stuff. Um, and
Was that the
I do
last time
miss
you went
being able
trick-or-treating?
to trick or treat and get free candy.
Yeah. Was that the
Because
last time you trick-or-treated?
that was the last time.
Damn, dude.
19. I mean, a lot of people stop at like 10 or 11 or 12, but not me.
Even 13 or
Uh,
14 or 15, but no.
yeah. No, not me. I can't. I was never gonna drink anyways, but I can't go to parties uh because I don't know any parties, and I'm not really the sort that gets invited to those sort of things. Uh,
Do you mean now
so
or
I just
then?
at any point
At any
in
point,
my
you've
life.
never been invited to a party.
I
I
mean,
mean,
not
fair
those
enough.
kind of I never went to like a a college-esque party, um, like a traditional, the sort that are in the movies party.
I don't know if those exist, but probably like a frat party is probably the closest to what you mean.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, also I like joined a church the second I got into Chicago.
And then you lived at the
So
Vortex. So I guess you weren't ever invited to those parties. You were just also there.
I just lived there,
Yeah.
and by that point, those weren't really my scene anyways. So um, mostly just hung out in my room, honestly.
Oh,
I think
really?
it came out a little. Yeah, I don't know that it was really the if I could find somebody to chat with, I was doing that.
Nice, of course.
But if I ran out of somebody to talk to, uh, I'm not that kind of extrovert. Um, I need like in order for extrovert powers to work for me, like I need to be able to make myself the center of attention. I have no idea how to
Oh,
do that at a party.
oh no. Oh, that's interesting. So you can only do it on stage or when you feel like you're on stage.
Yeah,
That's an interesting
because
superpower with limitation.
the music is so loud that you can't like get people's attention. It's not like a group. Like I prefer those like big group games at the Vortex. That's more of my sort of
Okay,
grouping
yeah, I
rather
got
than
you.
like
Right, because it comes your turn at one point, and then you step up and do your thing, whatever it is for the game, right?
yeah, and then you can make jokes with each other, and
Yeah.
that's always like a great dynamic.
Yeah, no, I think what you're saying which is true for everybody, and then more so um, for people on the spectrum, is that small talk sucks. It just sucks. Just like trying to talk to people for the sake of talking, which is what small talk is, IMO. It just sucks. It just because no one's invested in that conversation. They're just doing it because they don't have anything else to do. Um,
Yeah,
so then that's like at a party too, especially like blah. But like that's why people have the booze and the other things that happen at parties because it lets you like lull through those times so that you can get to like there's because I've had some really cool moments at parties. Like after everyone's kind of like gotten into the groove and they're like, unwind a little bit, you just start talking about your life and whatnot. Um, it's just, yeah, it would definitely, the most human connections were when people were like
yeah.
wasted, you know. But also if you're stone cold sober, it's a hard thing to wait for because you're like to you, time is definitely moving at an ordinary pace, and these people are getting stupider and stupider.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah.
Oh no, I mean we've all been there. I mean like people who are listening to that, they've have been to at least one party at one point where there's a gathering of people of four or more, there were, intoxicants involved. If they were the outsider, because there are more people who are like you than I mean you may think. Like sobriety is less obvious than drunkenness or whatever, right?
Right.
It's just, people don't register ordinary things. It's the super ordinary that you like. I gotta look out. I gotta be aware. All that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no. So like, you're like, okay, you guys are getting dumb. See you later.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like I would love to form a human connection.
but
You are not in any place capable of that.
I
Uh
mean, which is as a gentleman, that I mean, as a person who like looks out after women and the people around you, good for you,
yeah.
right? Because like, I mean, of course not. Like that's the silly thing about when people are like, no, but this whatever intoxicant brings out the real me. And then they're like, here I become this thing. And then you're like, actually, no, y'all two should never be meeting up under those conditions. Um, because
Yeah.
you're definitely like the dumbest you've been ever. That goes for
You
guys, that
need
goes
to
for when you're
find the
on
real
coke
you,
too. Yeah,
like
when you're on
that you
coke, anyone
like.
who's thinking otherwise, it makes you fucking stupid. You just talk a lot and think you're smart. Just so you know. Sorry, buddy. Also meth. Meth only makes you feel like you're super cool, but you're not super cool. You're a dumbass, and everybody can see how dumb you're being. Like, no joke. Just so in case you're listening to this and you find that out. Sorry, buddy. Back to you. I That was just an aside to our
No,
audience
no,
who, is
no. That's
like,
actually a cool aside because I
But yeah, for you, right?
I
Because
don't.
then you have the ability to form quote unquote human connections because most people will like let the girl or the guy like spill their guts to them so they know about them and then they would count that as real connection. But like yeah, when they sober up in the morning, they don't mean any of the things they said necessarily. They probably wish they could take back some of the things they've done or said because they didn't
Yeah.
mean to. It just it was running out of them.
Although I guess that's how I got my first kiss. Like when we were on our road trip in
Yeah, there's
um
definitely a party going on
yeah, it was definitely
that
like a
night.
house sort of party.
Yeah. I mean, it
And
seems like that
then
was generally the case at that house.
yeah. And then the Christine girl was chatting with me and I was just like listening uh
Ghostface
a little bit.
Killer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like that's the thing, like, you have these feelings that you normally are like, yeah, I do feel lonely, but it's okay because that's kind of where we're at right now. Like that's not a big deal.
Hmm.
But then you're like, you act on that. I'm just feeling lonely, so I need somebody. A lot of people have been born that way, or conceived that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully not also born that way. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mom's fucked up and giving birth. It probably happens sometimes. That's sad and sucks.
Yeah.
All right, that made me sad. I'm gonna stop thinking about it. But yeah, no, so like yeah, exactly. Like you should meet people when you're of sound mind.
That's that's ideal.
Right.
Yeah, because then you can know who each other actually are. Uh
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I've been watching and listening to too much true crime for too long to really be excited about getting into a relationship with anybody, which is sucks. And then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's realistic.
but is it real? Like it's obviously happened
The
based on things
number,
that
the numbers
have
are pretty
happened.
high for when so high, in fact, that when somebody gets killed, the first question they ask is, who's their significant other? And then there's a bunch of stories, especially, people falling in love late in life getting together to finally find their true love. And then like one of them, like is either not who they claim to be or like sees an opportunity or just gets tired of whatever the situation is. And then instead of doing a reasonable thing, like you're like, okay, cool, we're done. Or sometimes they do, and then the other one's like, no, we're not. And then it's like stabby, stabby, or whatever. There's a bunch of horrible ways to go out. So
Yeah.
I feel like since we're in the clown dimension, the only opportunity that I have that exists at this point is probably one of those situations. And just get this weird feeling.
And
So,
that weird feeling is love.
like hell no. The only woman I'm in love with is inside the clit gem. She's a
Yeah.
ghost robot chicken. Um,
Uh,
so whatever. Like whatever.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
I don't mean that about Lisa Green. I do mean that about Chloe. But also
yeah.
I really hope Lisa's down to do it like long term because she's super cool and like it would be really fun to continue to like get to develop that character with her.
And her voice was perfect for it.
And
I
also, god damn it,
uh
she's a really good character actress. Because then she did Kiwi on top of that. That's what I wanted to throw at both of them is to see what she would do. And I was like, oh man, that means she could do a bunch of voices. Because I've been binge
yeah.
watching King of the Hill, and I've been hearing that they're using the main characters as side character voices in some of the episodes too. And I was like, but they're just like they're doing character acting. There's one of them who's done like a whole bunch of voices because he's really good at it. So I forget who it is. I would mess it up, but I definitely want to look it up before we have the show on August 5th with Jake Mattis when we talk about King of the Hill.
Right. How's your binge going?
I think I'm like halfway through the show. I'm in about season 7. Uh,
All right.
And still, same thing. Like it's just like I'm like, oh yeah, I know these episodes. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. This is the episode where, like his stories are very, very like they're peculiar, is then they stand out, right? And then it's like his characters make distinct choices, and so you remember what they did. So again, looking at Mike Judge is like an earmark of good writing because he lasted for so long and continues to have shows that like work and do well. Um, that's yeah, I'm just like taking notes from them. Like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Our characters need to be doing that too, right? They take particular choices that have very like they have like consequences, and they keep living through that trajectory. Because his
Yeah.
storylines are silly. They're like inane as fuck. Like, I'm sorry to use that as an emphasis, but it's like the storylines are Bobby becomes a Christian. That's like the whole like focus of the show. Or Hank gets put into anger management. So they just pick like one character to do a thing to, and then they just run with it. And then all the characters that follow along with that, and what would happen, and then how they do it. Like it's just he's got it, and it's really he's doing his theme, man. He's just like setting up his like very central tenet of whatever that episode is, and then they just like play that out.
Are there episodes that you feel like sort of are similar to what you do with your George?
See, I don't. The idea is to create like the like a good form of writing, and that's really just about like
Okay.
the way that the information flows out, and people do it naturalistically. Um, Thank you for the question, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
because I was kind of making that comparison, but I was also just like I put those notes in the back of my brain because you can use any writer's tool in a George. It's not like it's like it's the only thing. Everyone who approaches it can use their own things that they've learned to like hone skills. And
Right.
the thing that I was noticing about Mike Judge, the choice is that his characters are making choices. So that's why it stuck with me. It's because I know the character Peggy, and then I know that in this episode she made one simple choice, and it was this, and that leads to these results. It's just like it's good writing in that because you should follow you like make an inciting incident and then have it explode outwards. And that's kind of the idea of what a George does, is that it makes you hit a climax in the middle of the first one that is a minor in the middle of the first scene that is a minor change, which that's where the choice that you're making changes things. And then it explodes into the larger scene so you can have a series of actions that deal with that until it hits the central thing. This is why when we're writing, I'm always like, we're mirroring this. We're mirroring this. Because the thing that Mike Judge is doing is he's like having it all relate to the first idea. And that's just like that's why I celebrate like King of the Hill, not just for being like a funny show, which it is, and being a long running show, 13 seasons, which it also has. But I'm pointing to the reason that that happened was because he was really good at setting up like a central idea and then just exploring it as much as possible with all the characters. So yeah, it's character work. He's just really like brilliant at character work.
Nice.
But like to answer your question, I don't. I mean, the core concept is there as far as like what he's doing, uh, and also it like I said, it can be used with the George completely.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about using the tool that we're using, since you brought it up, is that um, it the point of the form, which is really strange, and this is I think why it kind of is mind-boggling when people come across it, is that uh, it is supposed to be larger than your mind can conceive. Does that make sense? You kind of feel that way when you use it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It feels like I'm running uh water through like a huge wheel.
Huh.
And I
Yeah.
can't see everything, but like it makes sense when we get to certain parts of the wheel.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You can see the power move through it into whatever we're forming, right? Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
That's a good, yeah. Like it's something that you get caught up in and it pushes you regardless of whether or not you want it to. And then when you step back, you go, oh, okay, that's why and how. But yeah, no, that's what it's supposed to do. It's like that's why it's good as a writing tool. I think you can use it as an improv tool in a simplified way when you're working on teams, but it's like it's so that it breaks people out of their own heads and then gets them working together on the big problem. That's like what its goal is supposed to do. And then it's not something that you're supposed to be easily. I know people will be able to do it, but you're not supposed to easily be able to predict what's going to happen next because there's such a large combination. It's 11 things that change or may hold steady depending on where you are. Um, so
An easy way to apply it to an improv team would be to have someone like yourself call out the next part of the George, and
yeah,
like as a moderator, which would still be a lot of fun. Um,
I call that in the book, I call that a conductor. And I said
yeah,
what we're doing in what you do to practice the form is you do conducted improv, which is different than coached improv. Because coached improv is somebody like interjecting their thoughts from the side, but conducted improv is just like presents like this is our puzzle to solve, and you have this much time to do it. And everyone starts working on that, like we do when we're in writing sessions. And then the same thing.
yeah.
So like they set up their own theme based off an audience suggestion, and then the conductor takes that and puts that in to make sure that they keep hitting their theme over and over and over again throughout the show. And then the rest of the George mechanics, the engines, roll with them. And so the idea is that you shouldn't be able to predict it, but I think that people can get instinctually trained in how to tell stories because what I'm suggesting is that it's not a new way that I'm suggesting we tell stories, but it's actually a way that our brains have been telling stories for a long time. And I think I've got all the pieces that like our brain looks for. I might be wrong. I might be short like one or two, or like so, I would love to get criticism about that. But like as far as I've seen, like it's the things that like you're like, oh yeah, that's everything that I want to like make up a moment so it can be understandable from the outside. That was a long rant. Um,
But it makes sense.
but
But
to simplify
and
it
like I
as
get the feeling the naturally part,
yeah,
because like there are times when
oh
we're
yeah,
writing, I was like, oh yeah, no, this next part that I was thinking already fits into what you said is the next
oh, and it
part.
happens. It's been
Um,
happening more frequently too, man. Because like early on, you were picking up the pacing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's because I see what you're saying. Because you'll often be pitching the net forward, which is really cool because we have a way to like move towards something. But yeah, like especially on the bitch's booty, there was a lot of times. Sorry, more like a handful of times, if that makes a difference. Like it wasn't like excessive, but it was enough to be noticeable. Where I was like, you're like, oh yeah, this is the next thing. And I was like, yeah, that totally is the next thing. We're about to do that. Or you're like, we feel like we should be like changing something up, and you're like, oh yeah, like this is the minor change. This is exactly where it's happening. Um, and me too, like using it. Like I'll be like, okay, cool. Like something doesn't feel right. Like I didn't get the code right for some reason. Like we'll be going. That's why I'll be
yeah,
like, oh crap, wait. Oh no, it's like this actually. Because like the more that I've used it, the more it's like it feels very comfortable to use all those pieces.
yeah, and it was really comfortable to use. Like I, it certainly made like writing easier.
We're accomplishing
To
it.
Yeah,
It
it's
it
just
yeah, it helps sift between the ideas that come in so that we can build them all up into one stack. And then once we're like, oh yeah, oh that stack supports itself and all the characters are doing their thing is when we would be like, okay, cool, it's done. And that is kind of the idea. Like you should build stories like houses so that you can step back from them and they stand alone. And people can explore them.
yep.
Yeah. Uh,
The hardest part is when it's like a minor or a positive scene, but in your brain this scene is was not like going to end that way.
yeah,
And
it
so you
definitely
have
is a
to,
challenge, right?
how do I end this negative when it was supposed to be positive, or how do I end this positive when the person just died? Uh,
Right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's just like, oh, yeah. and it's interesting, and also like the time limitations, right? Like we're like, okay, we have only so many lines that we can put in for this particular moment. And that is just like uh just these challenges that like, and but then in those moments we end up thinking up like things that are so much cooler um than initially thought, or like they just become more complex, right?
Right.
Um, and so, yeah, then it has like this, now it's in a place that it is in its own. It does, I love that thing about the engines, and it just puts these like spins on everything that you think of. Because we have cool ideas, but we don't often have enough ideas to like get it back to the start again, which is, the point of a story, right? Like it's circular. Find out about this person and their world, and the more we find out about them, then we find out how it needs to be concluded, and they either do or don't take that action. Um, that's a basic story. But yeah, I think for improvisers, if they were just using like the who wants relationship expectations wheel, and they're using the theme wheel, and
Hmm.
knowing like moments have to turn positive and negative, and knowing where your major and minor changes are, and understanding kind of what time frames are with just those tools, I think you could have the most powerful improv team on the planet. Now that this is unsubstantiated, obviously just a theory because I don't have one yet. But if anyone who's listening wants to be a part of that experiment, you can go to reddit.com/ r story calculators um, and check it out. The whole everything that you need to know is up there, the whole manual. Or you can go to wigwags.us, and I have a book available to like read through how it's done. But really, that's the idea. I think that if improv teams were exploring along thematic principles, like whatever they're getting from their audience, they will be less disappointing to their audiences. Because even though some shows are great, they don't like mine the audience's idea, and so the audience is like they got included, but they feel cheated because it's only a side note versus like being what the whole show is about. Um, and then also, it's really hard for improvisers of all levels to get hooked into each other without spending a long time together, like outside. Like the longer that like improvisers are friends and like are on stage together, the better that team is. That's a given, right? But this
Yeah,
theory is
that's
that if we all have this language that we speak together, we should be able to all do that, regardless of whether or not when we met each other. Now, there are really good improvisers who have great personalities, like extroverted personalities, or are able to get their introverted personality to come out and like interact with other people. Like you, you're like, like I'm only good when I'm the center of attention. So you probably have no problem improvising with anybody on stage. But like where they go and what they do, like it can be it can be good, but like often lacks like the greatness and to the overall show. Um, Again, just my opinion. Did watch a lot of improv, and it was a long time ago, so maybe things have changed quite a bit. And I only saw Chicago improv, and I understand that there's a worldwide improv scene that I'm not aware of and haven't seen. So um, forgive me and my lack of knowledge out there, guys. If you want to learn me, please comment below. I'm happy to learn about all the comedy that you have seen, whether or not you agree with any of those comments. Aaron Cosbial, again, thank you. You set that off with your questions, so I appreciate that. Uh,
yeah.
that I love talking about those things, but they don't come up very often because they're in my brain and in a bunch of documents that I've used and in a book that has been kind of
Well,
distributed across the country to different comedy theaters. Um,
also,
so
when we've been doing podcasts, like you've been more the moderator, and then so there's not really an opportunity, or I don't know, or it hasn't flown the way to like ask you deep questions
oh, that's
like
that's
that.
fair. Yeah, I guess this is this since it's not composed with Chandler, this is the skip show. Maybe I'll even put up an
Yeah.
image so y'all can see what I look like. Uh, it doesn't match the voice, so I'll let you know right there. So I don't want to break that image for you actually. Maybe I won't put up a picture. Maybe I'll just put up, my favorite image of myself or one of my cats.
Just oh, just do one of those images of us improvising,
Oh, holy
back in
crap.
the
Yeah,
day.
actually we should. We should do this, yeah, as like perspectives reunion podcast. That's hella funny.
Yeah.
Actually, I have the one in mind where I have all that scruff and I'm wearing a ridiculous outfit. I think probably a tie over a t-shirt or something. And like you're like roaring on the floor. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, do you have your hand over
Yeah, 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 yeah.
my head?
That's gonna be the cover.
That's
That's
awesome.
that's gonna be the thumbnail for it. And this is gonna be again, since we're composed without Chandler tonight, this is gonna be the Perspectives reunion show. Um,
Yeah.
because while we've gotten together and done a bunch of stuff, it's not as the Perspectives. So again.
Yeah. Well, I still feel like whenever we're doing stuff, it's perspectives based.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for sure. Right. Like, I mean, Wigwags is a vehicle for us to do Perspectives projects. That's for sure. Uh,
yeah. The great
because
thing about our forum, uh, over other people's forums, was during our openings, we were talking to each other and getting to know each other better.
oh yeah, yeah, I felt like that was key for sure. Um, because that's what really you wanted to bring into the show. That's what we should be bringing into the show. You want to bring your fingerprints into it. Not so distinct that people can't understand your perspective or where you're coming from, but enough to be like, hey, I'm a real person and I think about stuff. That's
Yeah.
it's important. Otherwise, it's just slop, AI slop.
Yeah.
So.
Uh, yeah. The more we improvised together, the more we got to know each other, and therefore the better our improv was.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe we were doing great work. I still didn't really understand story at all when we were improvising together. So, because it wasn't a thing that was commonly taught. I think that a lot of people in the improv scene in Chicago kind of like assumed that you knew how to do that. Um, but yeah, that was not a thing in my brain that I understood until this whatever sabbatical was, whatever it was, getting
But
the
also
book
back
written.
then, I wasn't looking for like I had the fanciful idea that the answer to any question would have been what in whatever improv scene we were doing. Uh, I always felt like the answer to whatever we got questioned from the audience would have been in our show.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting, right? And we hope, right? We plan, and then the adrenaline kicks in, and the ideas start flowing, and then you start doing these scenes you didn't expect to do, playing these people you didn't expect to play, and then it's interesting, but like it's not. It doesn't necessarily answer the audience's question, right? The one that they asked. Um,
Sometimes, like when they
sometimes
asked
does.
why, and we went through a couple of different universes, and the only constant between those universes was love.
Yeah.
Uh, so sometimes,
Yeah, sometimes, right? But like then I'm like, but so what I'm saying, like, is you create a super improv team. Anyone who's playing with this form is that it's not that you sometimes answer the audience question, is that you always do. And it's not just that you answer the audience question in a trite way, but the entire show is the answer to the audience's question. That's what the goal is. That's why, like,
yeah.
for me, it's like so of a stringent, like, you can. There are lots of funny people. There's lots of great storytellers. There's lots of actors in the improv scene. There's lots of them. They're really, really great. And I love every single one of them. I love when people get up on stage and just be who they are. I think that that's the funniest thing ever, right? Like I would never want to detract from that at all. And then I'm saying that we can take this as an art form as a step further for those who want to like, like there's playing basketball on the street and there's like an Olympic level of basketball where you train to like be the best. And that's kind of like what the idea is like it's not a competition with each other to be the best in that way, but like it's a way that we can like clearly tell the audience a story back to them. And like that's like
Yeah.
I mean, if we are storytellers, if we are poets, right? Like if we are like greater as a group together, then I believe that we are capable of doing that. And again, this is an unsubstantiated theory, and I would love to have a team to do it with. Wherever you are in the world that you've caught this, you're like, I wonder if he's interested. I probably am. Reach out at coxinspace.com. Because that's, I mean, I'm positive to it's like this because for me, my writing was garbage. Like it was just like all over. I don't mean it was garbage. Like my fingerprints were all over it. You know what I mean? Like I would create
Mhm.
things that I would enjoy. but they were always like so scattered and all over the place, right? My improv is the same way. It was scattered and all over the place. But like with like working within a story calculator, I find that we can accomplish the goals that we want to fairly easily, right? We sit down before we look at the show and we say, this is kind of what we want the show to be about. Then we look at the scene before we hit the scene and be like, this is kind of what we want the scene to be about. And then we play through the story calculator, and then it becomes that thing, and then it becomes greater than the idea that we had. And like it takes on this depth that was we had like a simple idea, and there was like a lot more in it, we find out. Um, and so for me personally, I'm like, yeah, just um again, I'm not trying to say that I'm a fantastic writer or that what we're doing is amazing and incredible, the most that you've never seen something so funny, all this nonsense. I'm not trying to say that.
I'll say that if you like.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't mind
I
braggadocious.
love what we're writing, and I think that it is exactly we're creating exactly what we want to create. And there, I believe that there's an audience of people who love the wacky type of humor that we love, and that they're gonna love this
Hmm.
show. Like I believe that like totally. Because Cox in Space is it's just really fun. It's just a really fun project, and you know, being a huge fan of the project also, like anything that comes out, I'm just super excited about. So I believe that there are people like me who really definitely love the Cox in Space. But that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that my writing went from being all over the place to being able to accomplish the goals that I wanted to. And that is what, in my consideration, that is what an artist is. Like there's something fantastic about expression in art, right? Like to get your feelings out. That sometimes that's all you need to do. But mastery of an art is doing something on purpose.
Well, you've worked on your craft like
That's
throughout
right,
the years.
exactly.
You've
So
worked
then,
on story
yeah,
because you believed in it.
when art becomes a craft, I think is when you reach mastery. And that's why I say that like this story calculator, I believe that if there's improvisers who train like in a story calculator, and it doesn't have to be trained by me. Like if you understand the stories, the story calculator principles, which I've laid out, and I'm here to answer any questions, but you don't have to be trained by me. I believe that you can take it as an independent team and play that form, and you're gonna intentionally answer your audience's question every time because you guys know how to now. Um, I like it's no accident that there are 11 different pieces of the and there's four or five different engines. I have to count them out specifically because there's one that it alternates. So it does exist, but it is the same engine. So anyway, but like for me that those things exist because those are the things that I felt like the brain was interested in knowing about a moment, right? Like, is it an ordinary moment or is it like a like major change, minor change moment? How far into the scene is it? What type of human emotion or human experience do we want to tie to this to make sure that it feels like a real moment? Who are they? What do they want? What relationships do they have? What do they expect? You know, how long is this moment? Those are all things that you want to know about any moment that exists, and so that's why those pieces exist for that. Um, there you go. I forgot where we started with that. I'm sorry, man. You did get me fairly excited about this topic.
Yeah,
Again,
well, that's
I
the
don't ever
point.
really talk about it. What's that?
It, where we were doesn't matter because it got us here.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the yeah, that's the like if you just listen to me talk like on these podcasts, you see that like my brain is really all over the place. Like I really just like bouncing around. And that was the same way that I was on stage too. If anybody recalls, it'd be funny if anyone comments below, they're like, yeah, I remember that guy. He used to be all over the stage. Because that's how I'd improvise too. It's just like, you know, run as fast as possible, bounce off things. Yeah, like so I'm sure that it was hell to play with me on stage. I mean, maybe not you, Aaron, because I think that you put up with me to a certain extent that you understood where I was coming from.
You and I like complimented each other's ability because I wanted the ability to not just play a human but like to have everything be available
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
like not be crazy or retarded for
Yeah,
for for
that's
for people.
why yeah, that's right, because we're strange in the same way. That's definitely we have that definite like weirdness that's same to each other. And that's why I think that it was hell for other people is because they were coming in probably expecting to do like a cafe scene or something because that's like
Yeah.
if I remember right, that's the most standard scene. But as soon as I was thinking improv scene, I was thinking about the cafe scene that I was going to, which is
Do
funny.
you have the Johnson report?
Yeah, which is another standard one. So they're going into expecting that, and then I would growl at them and be like, "Yes, it's from the bottom of the jungle," and they'd be like, "Oh shit, what did I just walk
Oh
into?"
crap! I wanted a
Yeah,
regular
I
scene.
just wanted a
That
regular.
happened to
You
me
have you have to
all
give
the
me this.
time,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
and I was so annoyed by like regular scenes like that that I felt constrained to like, okay, I'll give you what you want. I'll be not weird for you. Uh,
that's
Not
totally
my
not a fun
strength,
place
but
to play from. Yeah, I mean, just the obligation. I mean, I'm sure you could have made that fun because, like, I've also played those scenes, but they still go wacky and weird, because you need something, you need those minor changes, right? You need those major changes if you're going to keep the scene interesting. Like, you need to be exploring, like, who you are and your relationships and what you think is going to happen and what you want out of the situation. You need to be exploring those things. But they are pretty scary too. Like,
yeah,
if an improviser is just like, new or just, they're learning, like the safe scene is just to like establish like how to even build a character because they're
yeah.
thinking too much about it.
Every
You
so
don't.
often, you meet people who are cool to improvise. Like I remember in my like level one at IO, I found somebody who would let me do a father son abominable snowman playing catch with a snowball and just like giving life advice
Right,
as
right.
that. And I was like, oh yeah, this is my sort of improv. Um,
And most of comedy has gone that way too. I would be less shocked. I mean, I would be shocked to see if the improv scene is still like that because I think a lot of comedy has just gone to like the surreal and bizarre,
Good,
which is
good. I
more of our
like the
system.
surreal.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Man, it would be so interesting, like trying to take beginner classes at like IO again to like see where people are at, where the improv scene's at. Uh,
yeah, see, I was considering that too, around here, just to be like, yeah, I really want to. I got that itch. I got to scratch. Like, I want to get on stage. And I was like, oh man, like, I don't know, like, what is it even like to improvise anymore? I have not done it for 15 years, so I'm just like I've been creative, but like just playing with people on their level where they're at and figuring that out so quickly is like the toughest part of the game. Um, And that's where I'm like, at this point, I'm like, eh. But like, if it was like just
well,
like finding the same music, I would be down. If story calculators
I
already
I would
existed with
give
those things.
I, I would give the advice that of how we're supposed to treat the audience. We're supposed to treat our fellow improvisers, treat them as though they are geniuses and they
Yeah,
realize.
100%, 100%. Um, but then also know that that's not going to be the response that you're going to get most likely. First off, if you're starting at
Sure.
like a level one
Uh,
class.
we can
uh,
hope. Like,
Yeah, you can hope. And I've done like fun improv scenes with like kids where they're like literally giving you nothing, right? But you just like play off the fact that they're giving you nothing. Uh,
yeah.
and so, like whatever it is, you can definitely play off it. Like any improviser, a good improviser is one who can take any sort of situation and just keep rolling. Which is why it's important to have your own character when you walk in with a point of view, and then whatever's coming next is what happens next.
That's the annoyance thing that I remember.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that you had to come in with your strong character and strong opinions, and that's a gift to your scene partner.
well, so it is kind of like that. At the same time, I played it like this. It was really important to give myself one physicality that made it possible to hold on to a point of view, like as a person, so that whatever happened in that scene, it would be possible to navigate it. Because you can't predict the scene, and you wouldn't want to, because they get boring if you do. Um,
Right.
but you also need to have like something that can continue to exist. And so it's just about like, uh for me, and I use this when I was on film camera sets too. You'll see it in Brooks. Um, I always play a character from holding one position, body position, part of my body like in place. Um, if you look at the Detective Brooks, the Marazi character, he's got the cigar in the corner of his mouth. Um, and so as soon as I put that piece in, then I become that character and just hold on to that regardless of what's happening. Or like if I'm coming off directing or if it's like really hot or the set's chaotic and everybody's been weird, like I can just like put in the cigar and be in that character. And so like that's how I
Yeah.
always did it with yeah, with annoyance too. Sometimes you just come in and you know that like you're holding your heel up off the ground by just a little bit, and it's not something that you're pronouncing to anybody, but like it just lets you be in this place where you're on the balls of your toes as a character. Um, anyway, yeah. So that's what I got out of the annoyance. It was a fun place to play. Um,
Right.
I wish they had more, but that one thing was missing. It's definitely missing in a herald. Like if you don't teach that along with a herald, where there's a big form happening, then people are all trying to cling to the form, uh, and not to a like a point of view. Uh, so
Yeah. Strong points of view help an improv scene.
so
So
one of the ideas in using a story calculator is that each of the actors is assigned a letter of the shape, of where that three-sided triangle, or the one that's in 3 dimensions is inside the
yeah.
square, so that they know who they are in the show or what force they're representing. Um, like for Cox in Space, where it's like individuals saving lives, individuals saving worlds, and universes destroying lives. So that they
Yeah.
recognize that they could be um, an individual who's saving and destroying worlds. See how that's like part of the theme?
Yeah.
So what it does is it puts them in a position inside the shape and the triangle, so that you can come in with a strong point of view because you understand that you're this person who does this, or you're an agent of the universe who's saving lives. So that when you're coming into any scene, you know that you have like this as your goal. So yeah, it's built into using the story calculator also, although it's a little bit more complex doing it in the moment. I have a couple solutions, but they're technological.
Okay.
So it looks like yeah, this is the get together of the Perspectives, a reunion show that's been long awaited, a public get
Yay.
together. Yeah, and what a spectacle it's been. We are in the last 20 minutes of the show, 10, 15 minutes of the show. I can't tell time. I'm not a person. Uh, um,
12?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. I'll take that. You got it. Yeah, about 12 minutes of the show. You have anything you want to shout out that is going to be happening, say end of October, end of July, beginning of August? Any shows coming up? Of course, we have the
All
Crackpot
right.
show.
Well, yeah, I've got the Crackpot show August 1st.
Nice.
Um, that's in Massillon, Ohio, and then August what is it? August 19th. I am doing a show at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Detroit.
Oh, that's
That's a
awesome.
Tuesday night.
Dylan Farr
Um,
graduated from there. I would like to hear your thoughts about that. I came across them when I was sending books out, um, that that existed. So August 19th, fantastic at Ridley's Castle,
yeah,
Castle
Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in
Comedy Castle.
Detroit.
I knew it had a long name.
Royal Oak.
Detroit.
Uh, Royal Oak might be Oak. I don't know if it's plural or not. Uh,
Oh yeah, I think it's technically in one of the suburbs, but I only found that out later. There's another
yeah,
comedy place that's around that, and they're like in the Detroit area, but still, Detroit's fairly large. It'd be like the like Chicago, like they're attached to that city. That's fantastic, man. Obviously more information, professorofcomedy.com.
yep. more information,
Sweet.
professorofcomedy.com.
Yeah, and I'm
Uh,
sure you're going to be getting more shows in August since we're getting close to the end of July. Everyone's starting to think that way. Um,
yeah,
so you and
and
I are getting together tomorrow for a writing meeting for episode 3, which is exciting. And then
yeah,
uh, on Tuesday, if you guys want to come to the Discord, we're going to have the bipolar comic Bob Whitney come and join us as a guest on the Drawing with Jack. And then next weekend, we're gonna have Kate Leo coming on with Composing with Chandler, and we're gonna put the final touches on Luna's song. So she'll be here on the 27th. I believe it's a Sunday. And then, guys, watch out for the beginning of August because Jake Mattis is going to be on Drawing with Jack to get his hot take about King of the Hill, which we talked about briefly, but I have so many more thoughts and questions uh, that I want to dive into with him. So I'm excited about that. We're looking at the beginning of August. And then Jock Schloss is coming on on the 10th of August.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, so he's coming up on Drawing with Jack. And I'm sure that we're going to have more guests coming on. Uh, so you know, drop by the Discord. We're here 5 nights a week. And you can come by and just tune in with us and catch it live here.
yeah. Just hang out and
Yeah,
like, yeah, see how you can get involved with Cox in Space. Also, if
or
anybody has money and they want to be a producer, let us know. Uh,
yeah, we do have the deal laid out. You can check it out on our Patreon, Patreon/Wigwags, because you get to become a producer of the show, which means that you get to become a co-creator of the show, and get a share of when we're making money on the show. So it is a good deal. Take a look at it. It is legit. We're doing that. It's actually the whole thing that we're all under also. Everyone who's working on the show gets when we get paid on the show is when we're all getting paid on the show. Um, it's a thing that came from Steven Spielberg. What he does or what he did, from what I understand, I've never seen one of his contracts, but he doesn't pay people up front. He says when we maybe he pays below the line people up front because they have to be there like caterers and uh, probably the grips and stuff like that, just so they have their day wages taken care of. But people who are like the draws to a show, he says like, hey, we're take a gamble with me. We'll make as much money as you're making from this project as I'm making. We're gonna be, like when I make money, you make money. That was a quote.
yeah,
Uh, and that's where I'm like, yeah, 100%, because this is not about Aaron and mine's project. We love the Cox in space, and we will fight you over them, because we love them so much. But I mean, Aaron will probably hug you over them. I will probably say some nasty words, and they'll be like, you know what, I was wrong, dude. That wasn't right of me to do. I'm gonna try to do better. Um, just where I'm at right now. But no, we love them. But also, the Cox in Space is about the crew joining up and getting together, and just people love it because they see what we're doing is fun and funny. And a lot of people we have the same sense of humor and sensibilities. So, yeah,
there's
you
so
can
many
come be.
people who are just joining in and loving it and having fun with us and bringing their wonderful bits of knowledge to the project.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the thing. So like we can't say that this Cox in space will exist only because Aaron and I had an idea or someone had money to make it happen. It's actually all the people who have put in their effort and skills and particular abilities to do it. So yeah,
Because that's
100%.
how you build a fire. You keep adding,
Especially
more
in the
sticks that
beginning.
have their own
Yeah,
burning abilities.
little kindling, move up to sticks, move up to logs. So we are at the kindling stage, and we're definitely excited that you're on board at the kindling stage with us. Again, if you're looking back, at this time, like jump on board. I'm sure that we're still doing this in the future too, building projects and make things happen. So, um, yeah, glad to hear from all over time and space to be listening to this podcast. So along those lines, Aaron, do you have any like closing thoughts that you would like to share, or lines of questioning or anything, shower thoughts you've been having? Maybe not share all of them, but
I'm just honestly so happy that we reconnected and have started doing all these wonderful projects
oh
together.
yeah, no,
That's
yeah, totally.
that's that's the like most creative joy in my life right now. Like it's so cool
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
doing.
That we get together and make it. Yeah, same. I mean, I was sharing this on an earlier one too, that just that it's been great for my personal mental health to get together and keep creating, because that's really what like I want my being to be. I'm sorry, it's what my being wants, right? It's just to like
Yeah.
create. And so like I do all the other things in my life well. Like I always put myself towards 100% towards everything. But like what I really enjoy the most is making something exist that didn't exist before. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, the feelings just
And
it like sucks. There's been nothing more exhilarating than that. The like raw creation is like I don't know. It's the like highest of highs.
it's how I always explain improv. Powers just shy of God,
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're being creators
creating a universe
in his own
where,
image. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, and so like we're just a reflection of like of the thing that we've come from.
yeah,
I think that's
uh,
what Jesus meant when he said that he's the Son of Man, is he was trying to be like, y'all, you're a small piece of the big piece, you know? Uh, but like,
so if we're children of God, then we
yeah.
have traits of God, and I think creativity is one of those traits,
Well, childrenness
genetic trait of our being.
is related to like the way that a droplet forms. You know how there'll be like a drop, and then there'll be drops that come off that drop? Those are like the
Hmm.
children of the drop.
Yeah, and
So
they're made of water.
yeah,
Still,
we're like a replication of that thing. Not to say that we're full gods, but like we have the ability to create universes in that way. And so yeah,
yeah,
that's definitely like where I'm like, yeah, that's the the cool thing. That's the thing that I enjoy about making art, is that you get the ability to freeze time and space and make it exactly what you want it. You replay it over again and make it exactly the way that you want it to be. So the end result is this thing that you desire. And that's where this whole conversation started actually, yeah. And not just any old random thing. Kids make any old random thing, and it's definitely part of the learning process to get good at something.
mhm,
Is you have to start just making any old random thing, and then continue at it until you start to ask yourself questions about it that need to be answered, and then you answer them the best you can. That's the only that was a path that I took. I don't know if that's the only path, but that was a path I took. I'm not a
yeah.
great commercial artist at this point, so take it for what you will.
But Cox and will have some commercial successes.
It's gonna, yeah. I
Is
mean,
what I
people are gonna
believe.
see when people see Cox in
Um,
space. It's
I believe in us. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
for me, it's not an if, it's when, because
Yeah,
it just takes somebody seeing Cox in space who's like, oh, holy crap, that is the funny idea that I've been wanting to like make happen, right? Like they're like, I like I have the ability and I desire, like I want to be a part of that, and 100% can be. Uh, this isn't like fully open source in some ways, but it's been a very like open project. I mean, if you go into our Discord right now, you can look at the writing, the artwork, talk with the music. I mean, it's available there. I'm sure there's AI who, if they can get them here, they're already stripping it for for themselves. Um, so it is what it is. This is the world we live in. But
yeah,
no, but yeah, I'm glad that we're creating. Kate also sounded like she felt like the same way too. She was like, yes, at least we're getting to make something. Yeah. Mommy
yeah,
is definitely idyllic, but I'm sure it's lacking some of the
yeah,
creative energy
yeah.
that
I
big cities do.
mean, it's got like the area has some community theater, but like we're like Cox and Space is coming from everywhere,
Yeah,
um, and it can like expand everywhere. So that's pretty awesome,
yeah,
actually.
that's an interesting question, right? Like, where did Cox and Space start? We're like, well, kind of all over the place, in your face.
Eh,
Yeah,
Technically Chicago, I guess.
yeah. I mean, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, actually, at the table of the vortex, to be more specific, is where
Yeah.
that started. But again, like that's not the iteration that exists now.
which was it was like your idea to take one of our improv scenes and to like expand it into a free like a feature show.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
because I wanted us to do something that we'd found fun before, so that we had a basis to work from, something that we already enjoyed, and that was it. We unfortunately are gonna have to share that story at another time, because we're at
uh,
the end of the show. But Aaron Cosbial, man, thank you for being here, co-hosting with me today. Uh, Composing without Chandler, actually the reunion show of the perspectives.
yeah,
So just
perspective.
reflecting on how long it's been that we, how long this project's been boiling and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
so you have to know when to simmer and when to what
stew,
was the other bit?
stew. You gotta know when to simmer and when to
Yeah,
stew.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
buddy.
And so it's been
So,
simmer, and now
yeah,
it's
so it's been
ready to
simmering.
serve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, we got our 15-year stew ready to serve. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Look for us on the next the installation on one of these shows. Composed with Chandler will be next week. And we'll be looking at meeting with Kate Leo. So look for that. Thank you again, and y'all have a good whatever time of day it is where you're at.